You know how it is, you can't really scroll online or chat with anyone these days without sooner or later landing on how crucial digital walls are
Mhm.
and just how widespread remote work is now. It's really gone beyond just being a trend, hasn't it? It's shaping how we live and work.
It absolutely is.
And that's precisely the territory we're exploring in this deep dive.
Yeah, it truly is a fundamental shift. I mean, the ways we learn and the ways we earn are being, well, redefined pretty rapidly.
Right.
And it's essential for people, students, graduates, to be equipped with the right tools to not just navigate this, but actually flourish in this evolving landscape.
Which brings us neatly to what we're digging into today, the Erasmus Plus Preview project.
Exactly.
We've got their latest newsletter right here, and it's giving us a fascinating look under the hood at how they're tackling this head-on, specifically for university students and recent grads.
Think of it like getting the inside scoop.
Yeah, like the inside scoop on a really forward-thinking initiative.
Exactly. This newsletter gives us like a direct line to
Yeah.
the project's core goals and the very practical steps they're taking.
Right.
So our mission today really is to unpack this, to understand how Preview is helping individuals get those vital skills and opening up new pathways in this increasingly digital world.
Okay, let's unpack it then. One of the key things the Preview project is doing, and this really grabbed my attention, is their focus on MOOCs.
Ah, yes, MOCs.
Massive open online courses. Now, for those listening who might be hearing this term for the first time, what exactly does that entail?
Right. Well, at its heart, a MOOC is basically a free learning program delivered online.
Right.
And it's accessible to a huge number of students, like all over the world. Geographically dispersed,
Okay.
it's about making education available on a massive scale, through the internet. And while some MOCs might follow a pretty structured curriculum, like a university course, others can be more focused maybe on specific skills or knowledge areas.
Right, so it's not just like sticking a lecture online. How does it actually function? I mean, handling so many learners at the same time.
Yeah, that's where the tech comes in. MOOCs rely heavily on, well, being online, obviously, but often using cloud computing.
Okay,
Think of it like a giant shared online space that can handle a lot of traffic, a lot of users.
got it.
The course content itself, that's created digitally, and then it's hosted on what's called a learning management system, or LMS.
LMS, right, I've heard that term.
Yeah, systems like edX, Canvas, Coursera, Udacity is another one. They handle pretty much everything, delivering materials, student registration, managing assignments, communication between students and instructors.
And universities are often involved in providing the content.
Oh, absolutely. They're
Yeah.
often key players, providing the expertise of their instructors and the actual course content itself.
What's really interesting, though, is that while these might not always lead to, say, a traditional university degree, this newsletter highlights that they often provide certifications. So it's still a tangible benefit, isn't it, for career advancement or even future learning?
That's a crucial point, yeah.
Like a verifiable stamp.
Exactly, a verifiable stamp of acquired knowledge. In today's job market, being able to show specific skills with a certification, well, that can be incredibly valuable.
Definitely.
It can be a real advantage when you're applying for jobs, or even provide a strong foundation if you want to pursue more in-depth studies later on.
And the Preview project, they haven't just talked about MOOCs generally. They've actually developed 5 specific ones, haven't they, according to this newsletter?
They have indeed, yes.
What's the focus there?
So the newsletter outlines 5 key MOOCs they created within the project: service design methodology,
Okay.
project management, socioemotional competences,
That one sounds interesting.
digital competences, and soft skills. It's a selection that really emphasizes, I think, the diverse range of skills that are just so important in today's professional world.
Yeah, that mix makes sense. But socio-emotional competences, that's a bit of maybe a broad term. Can you break that down a little? What kind of skills are we talking about?
Sure. Think of it as your ability to understand and manage your own emotions,
Right.
and also to effectively interact with others. So things like empathy, understanding how someone else might feel, self-awareness, knowing your own strengths, maybe your weaknesses too, and conflict resolution, being able to work through disagreements constructively.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, these are all crucial in any workplace, really, but especially perhaps in remote settings where clear communication and understanding are absolutely paramount.
Definitely. And the accessibility of these MOOCs, it sounds fantastic. The newsletter mentions they're available in 5 languages.
That's right. English, Spanish, Italian, Romanian, and Turkish
Wow.
on their Preview Learning Teaching Hub. Plus, the English versions are even up on their YouTube channel.
That's brilliant. That's casting a really wide net, isn't it?
It is. That multilingual approach is so important for reaching a diverse audience across Europe and, well, beyond. It really aligns with the whole spirit of the Erasmus Plus program.
True.
And making them available on multiple platforms, including somewhere like YouTube, which is so widely used that significantly lowers the barrier for anyone who's interested in learning.
It really does. They stress all you need is an internet connection and an email address to get started. That's a remarkably low hurdle to jump to gain some potentially valuable skills.
Absolutely minimal.
And if you listening want to explore these specific MOOCs further, the newsletter conveniently includes a link. It's previewcommunity.eu outputs MOOCs.html. Definitely worth a click if any of those topics sound interesting to you.
Absolutely. It's a great way to see the course outlines and figure out if any of these MOOCs could help you achieve, your own learning goals.
Okay, so MOOCs are one key part, a big part of the Preview project. The other major area that the newsletter really highlights is remote internships.
Yes, the practical application side.
Right. Now, we're all pretty familiar with the idea of internships, but what are the defining characteristics of a remote one? How does that differ?
Well, essentially, a remote internship mirrors a traditional one in terms of the work, but instead of going to a physical office,
Right.
the intern works from a different location, often their home, could be anywhere really. They communicate and complete their tasks entirely online.
Using various tools, I imagine.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Using a variety of digital tools, video calls, instant messaging apps, shared online workspaces, collaboration platforms, all that kind of stuff.
Makes perfect sense. So what are the key advantages, then, for someone thinking about a remote internship to get that crucial real-world experience?
Well, the newsletter outlines some really compelling benefits. First off, there's just the incredible flexibility, right?
Yeah.
Being able to work from literally anywhere with an internet connection. This can lead to a much better work-life balance for many people. Secondly, it significantly expands your opportunities geographically. You're no longer limited to companies just in your local town or city.
That's a huge one.
You can pursue internships with organizations all over the world.
That's a game changer, really. Opens up possibilities regardless of where you happen to live.
Precisely. And, it can also be more cost-effective. Interns save money on commuting, maybe work clothes, lunches out, things like that.
Little things add up.
They do. Beyond that, remote internships actively help develop really valuable skills. Things like digital communication, being effective online, the ability to self-motivate and manage your own time. It's really crucial when you're not in the supervised office. And importantly, it still provides opportunities to build your professional network just with people, potentially across the globe.
It sounds like it's not just about doing the same work from a different place. The actual nature of it helps you cultivate skills that are absolutely vital for, well, the future of work, as the newsletter puts it.
Okay. Exactly that. Yeah. Successfully navigating a remote work experience, it demonstrates a level of adaptability and digital fluency that employers are increasingly looking for in new hires. It really does.
And the newsletter even gives us some specific examples of remote internships that have recently launched within this Preview project. It mentions several that got underway earlier this year.
Yes, these real-world examples really illustrate what the project is achieving, on the ground.
Yeah, it makes it concrete.
For instance, the Bucharest University of Economic Studies, ASE, they partnered with ADI Harkida. They launched a remote internship back on February 24, 2025.
Okay.
It involved 31 students working with 9 different tourism organizations. They even mentioned having an onboarding process and using surveys to set goals. So it shows a really structured approach.
That's great to see, that level of organization and support in place, especially for remote work. And there was another one in Turkey at Nevşehir Hakkı Bektaşvili Üniversitesi, started just a couple of days later.
That's right, yeah. On February 26th, that one had 38 students and 6 academic mentors, and they started working with 3 companies. And that internship, I believe, is running until May 10th.
So quite a substantial period.
Yes. And it highlights the project's broad reach, across different types of institutions and various sectors, too.
And it wasn't just Romania and Turkey involved, was it? The University of Sassari in Italy also kicked off their program in March.
Indeed, March 10th. 31 students from Sassari started their remote internships with the Museo Bidas. That's the Museum of Abandoned Villages of Sardinia.
Wow, that sounds fascinating.
It is. What's particularly interesting there is how these modern digital tools are being used in the context of like preserving and promoting cultural heritage. It's a really interesting intersection.
That's a really unique application of remote work, isn't it? Connecting students digitally with such historically significant sites. Very cool. And finally, the University of Salamanca in Spain, they launched their program on April 1st.
Yes, collaborating with several local organizations there too. The Instituto de las Identidades de Salamanca, the IDS,
Okay.
the Museo de Historia de la Automoción, the Motor Museum, and also the Diputación Provincial de Ávila. So again, really showcasing the collaborative nature of the project and how it engages with a diverse range of institutions.
It certainly sounds like these internships are actively happening and providing really valuable experiences for the students involved. And hey, for anyone listening who might be thinking, I'd be interested in something like that.
Yeah.
The newsletter does mention that there might still be some distance learning placements available. And it gives the contact email info@previewcommunity.eu.
Good tip.
So if you're curious, it's definitely worth reaching out, right?
Absolutely. It's a direct line to potentially gaining some really valuable skills and, experience in a proper remote work environment.
Okay, now, zooming out just a bit, looking at the bigger picture, the newsletter briefly mentions the Erasmus Plus funding program itself, just reminds us of its overall aim: enriching lives, opening minds.
Mm-hmm. And this really provides the context for the Preview project, doesn't it? It situates it within this larger European initiative that's focused on fostering education, training, opportunities for young people.
Right.
The whole Erasmus Plus program is about encouraging international collaboration and, facilitating personal and professional development.
And it mentions an event, something organized by the CNR, the Italian National Research Council, back in December 2024. It focused on the role of their Department of Humanities, Social Sciences, and Cultural Heritage
Yes, the DSU.
in promoting education and innovation through Erasmus Plus Salem. What was the key focus there?
Well, what's particularly notable from the description is the emphasis on sharing experiences and fostering the development of collaborative project proposals.
Ah, okay. Practical.
Very practical. The event brought together various stakeholders, researchers, project managers, university staff to exchange ideas and strategies for creating impactful international partnerships under Erasmus Plus Light.
It sounds like a really hands-on session. It mentions a morning dedicated to showcasing successful ongoing projects.
Yeah, learning from examples.
And then an afternoon where experts, including evaluators, actually help people fine-tune ideas for future projects. It's all about learning from what works and continuously improving, isn't it?
Exactly. The main goals seem to have been sharing those successful Erasmus Plus experiences, strengthening the network of participating institutions, and ultimately improving the quality of future project applications.
Makes sense. Increasing their chances of getting funded and making a real impact.
Precisely.
So as we kind of wrap up this deep dive, what are the key takeaways that really stand out to you about the Preview project based on this newsletter?
Well, the overarching theme, it's clearly about preparing university students and graduates for the realities of today's job market. That's the core.
Right.
Equipping them with essential digital skills and providing valuable experience in these remote work environments. The project's strategic use of MOOCs offers that flexible, accessible online learning, which is then complemented by the practical, real-world experience through these remote internships.
It really does seem like a well-rounded approach, addressing a critical need, by focusing on both the, let's say, the theoretical understanding from the MOOCs and the practical application via the internships.
That's bridging that gap.
They're giving individuals a significant advantage, I think, in navigating this digital age.
Absolutely. And the commitment to accessibility, multiple languages, multiple platforms, along with the tangible experience offered by the internships, it all points to a really thoughtful and hopefully impactful initiative.
So for you, the listener, maybe consider this. How could taking advantage of online learning resources like these MOOCs and maybe exploring the possibilities of remote work or remote internships, how could that potentially reshape your own career path? Could it open doors to global opportunities you might not have considered before? What new skills might you be inspired to explore now? And maybe what geographical limitations might you realize you can actually overcome? It's definitely food for thought.